Go Live with College of Education. I'm Dr. Pesnell, and I am here with some new friends from our agriculture education program, and we're just going to say Ag Ed for ease today. Does that work? Okay, so why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell the audience a little bit about you?
Yeah, my name's Elizabeth Sturgis. I'm currently a junior here at K-State, majoring in agricultural education and global food systems leadership. I just started my Block 1 classes this semester, and I'll student teach in the spring of 2024. I'm originally from Joplin, Missouri.
I'm Molly McClure. I'm a sophomore here at K-State, originally from Hugoton, Kansas, which is in the southwest corner. I'm ag ed, but I'm minoring in agronomy and animal science.
My name is Charlie Bestwick. I'm a junior here in Ag Ed. I student teach in spring 2024, and I'm a transfer from Cloud County Community College. Grew up in Sabetha, Kansas.
Fantastic. So, probably the first thing we need to know is just a little bit about what is Ag Ed? What types of things do you do? What does that mean to be an Ag Ed teacher?
Yeah, so there's two different types of agricultural education. There's formal and informal. So what formal means is you're in a school as an agricultural educator, the FFA advisor part. Informal is anything outside of a school setting. So that could be an extension agent, maybe just contact with farmers or consumers, anything in that standpoint.
Okay, nice. All right. And what are some of the things that you study for Ag Ed? If you want to be an Ag Ed teacher, like what are some of the things that you'll
Yeah, so when we come to K-State, one of the classes that we take our freshman year is either crop science or horticulture 201, which is like the introduction to horticulture. So that's one of those required ones. Another required one is the soils class here at K-State. And so on the like plant science and agronomy side of things. Then we also take some animal science courses over in Weber Hall. We take ag business, ag econ classes. We'll take a welding class, which is held over at Wamego High School. The ag teacher there teaches that.
Wow.
And so it's kind of a variety of animal science, ag econ, plant science, and that like ag mech side of things.
Right.
We take electrical system classes. We'll take construction classes. So we kind of dip our toes into a lot of different
definitely
ag
do.
areas.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I knew all of those areas were connected to ag.
Yeah.
So that's fascinating. So you talked a little bit about as a teacher being an FFA advisor. So tell me, what is FFA? What does that mean then to play that role?
So in the classroom setting, there's like your classroom instruction, which would just be your course material, teaching. Then you have an FFA component, which is a national organization, lots of leadership and career development events, activities and contests. And then the other component is a supervised agricultural experience, which is just a student-led, it's a program they choose that they want to do in high school, just to make money, get more hands-on in ag. So you, as an ag teacher, watch over those three components of agricultural education, and FFA is kind of probably the most well-known one, just
Okay.
because our corduroy blue jackets.
Right.
Yeah.
And FFA stands for?
It used to stand for Future Farmers of America.
Right.
It does not anymore.
Okay.
Because it is so much broader than that.
Great.
Yeah.
So does it have a new name, but it's still called FFA? I mean,
Yeah, so we're since
just-
since
they just
1988
kept it.
we've just been National FFA organization.
Okay.
So the old acronym I think like has its roots in the organization, but it's definitely more inclusive of the fact
I
that a
love
lot of
that.
students that come through our classroom aren't going to be farmers, and that's
Right.
a good thing. So
That's yeah, I love that. And so you participated in FFA then in high school, correct?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit, Charlie, about what drew you to Ag Ed.
What drew me to Ag Ed was really one of our teachers passing in middle school, and it really drew me to be a teacher in general. And then when I got into high school, I tried the Intro into Ag class just because, and I really liked the FFA aspect and getting to go to all these different contests, doing flower contests, tree contests, and then doing livestock or meats judging. And through those experiences, it really led me to choose my career as an agriculture educator so I could share those experiences and all that fun stuff that I did with the next
I
generation.
love that. So, so you in FFA, you got to go and participate in lots of different activities. I heard you say flower contests, tree contests. Is that like you're growing your own? Like, tell us a little bit about those aspects.
In FFA, we have what are called CDEs and LDEs. So we have career development events and leadership development events. Career development events are different contests and different content areas. So like you have meats judging where you would go and ID different cuts of meat and maybe look at the different qualities and decide which one's the best. Or you have like flower ID and creating different floral arrangements.
Oh, nice.
And then you have your your LDEs, which is like leadership skills, public speaking events, public speaking contests, as well as like team things. Like we have a rituals contest, which is kind of like talking about our opening ceremonies and all that stuff. So
That's great that you got that kind of an experience before coming into college and then working that way. And you said you were a state officer. Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, so FFA, we have it in Kansas. It works a little bit differently in every state, but in Kansas, we have the chapter level, which is each individual program, and then those are in a larger district. So there's 7 districts in Kansas. They're like Southwest, South Central, East Central, things like that. And then there's the state level. And so our students are able to be leaders at every level. And then our state association is also within the national organization.
Right.
And so typically there's about 6 officers per chapter, and so those are students within the chapter. There's 6 officers at the district and 6 officers at the state. So I was able to serve as a state officer my freshman year here at K-State. So that program, a student is in FFA until the end of their high school experience unless they run for a higher leadership position outside of their district. And so yeah, I served as a state officer, and that was a really great opportunity to get to know some of the other chapters across the state because they all look so different depending on where you're at.
Right. And so you have a neat role, a neat perspective, I guess, as a student because you're with the College of Ed, but you're also with the College of
Ag.
right? So you take special courses from the College of Education, though, to get licensed, correct? So I heard you say you were starting your block 1 in the fall and going to student teach. So you take a lot of the same courses that most of the teachers, well, that all of the secondary teachers then would take for those class for their licensure, correct?
Right.
Okay. And then when you go and student teach, earlier as you were talking, you mentioned that you don't get to go back home and student teach. A lot of our students tend to want to do that. So tell us a little bit about why that is and how that plays into your role in FFA that way.
Yeah, so we typically don't get sent to our home chapter or to our home district because within FFA, Molly was kind of talking about it a little bit before we got started, but within FFA, some of the districts are pretty different from each other. So like Charlie was saying, the Northeast district, they have wool judging contests, and that's the only district in the state that does that. And so it varies a little bit on what is really popular or more common in that district. And so our faculty really want us to get a diverse experience with students that we wouldn't commonly see in our own district. And so that's why we're typically sent somewhere else across the state to get to know their areas, those teachers, what the students are interested in there, just to kind of get a broader sense of the state of Kansas and what ag looks like across the state. Because there are areas of the state that, for example, like Southwest Kansas, they grow cotton, and that's not grown in Southeast Kansas. And so if I want to teach students about cotton, it'll be easier to do that in Southwest Kansas than in Southeast.
I love that. So you get to get that diversity. That's awesome. And so how do your faculty at the College of Ed and your Ag Ed faculty, how do they play a role in your time here?
So our Ag Ed faculty, it's like one big family. We have 3 faculty members, Dr. Disberger, Dr. Ulmer, and Dr. Hawk, and they advise all of our Ag Ed individuals. So there's 80 of us in the program right now, and you can go in there if you have a problem with the class. You can go in there if you are just having a bad day. You can call them if you wreck your car like Elizabeth did.
Uh-oh. There's a story there, huh?
And it's just like one big family. And it's really nice because when I was at Cloud and before then, I would take my college credits from Cloud and email Dr. Disberger and say, hey, is this going to transfer? What's going to work? And she
Mm-hmm.
helped me through that whole process, which made transferring so much easier.
That's awesome.
And just the big thing is we're all one big family.
I love that. So you're one big family, and your family is growing, right?
Yes.
There is a big need right now for the ag ed teachers. There's growth in FFA. Tell us a little bit about why we're seeing that kind of a growth right now.
Yeah, so I'm like all teachers, right? We are severely understaffed everywhere. And so we are growing about 10 positions every year, new positions. So that doesn't
Wow.
include like current programs. It'll be an addition of a second or a third teacher maybe to a program, a new program opening up. And so there's new positions, and then there's also those that are leaving the profession or are retiring, things like that. So I want to say it's around 30 positions every year are opening. And our program, we typically have about 21 graduates every year. But
Okay.
those graduates, again, the really nice thing about Ag Ed, like Molly was talking about, you can go into the classroom or you can use that in a different setting if you want to work with commodity groups or you want to have direct-to-consumer interactions or direct-to-consumer or to farmer interactions, things like that, extension. And so we have the students that are have the passion for Ag Ed, but not necessarily always going into teaching.
Okay.
And so we're always looking for more. Our student base is also growing a lot. So in the past, I believe it's 5 years, we've grown 4,000 students. So we were at 8,500 members, like Kansas FFA members who are Ag Ed students. We're now at 12,500 students. And so that's really great,
is
but we need the
exciting.
teachers to be able to teach them.
Right. That's kind
yeah.
of a good problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
We are in a very good problem
Yeah.
right now.
There's a lot of schools that are wanting to start ag programs.
That's awesome. That's great. So, you have a student club. Is that what I understand?
Yep.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yep, so we have the Agricultural Education Club here on campus. It's welcome to all students, not just Ag Ed majors. So those who went through Ag Ed in high school, but maybe want to go into like animal science pre-vet or something
Okay.
like that, but they want to stay involved with Ag Ed, they are more than welcome, and all majors across campus are welcome to join our club. We have food every meeting. We do social meetings and professional meetings to help get our professional development hours as well, to go into the profession. And yeah, we have meetings every first and third Tuesday on campus, and it's a really
Okay.
great time. Like Charlie said, we're family-like, and so we really enjoy that time together. Our advisors come to the meeting, and so it's
Yeah.
just a nice an evening of fellowship, kind of.
I love that. So, if they want to be part of that, how do they do that?
Well, we have a Instagram account at KSU Ag Ed, and you can find us on Facebook at K-State Agricultural Education as well. We're on Twitter. We're also on TikTok at similar
Got the
handles.
gamut
And
there.
so
I love
yeah,
it.
and so you can find us at those different social media sites, and we
Okay.
always post when there's a meeting coming up. Like I said, it's the first and third Tuesdays of the month at 6:30, and our location is kind of shifting around a little bit just because we have another club that meets at the same time in our
Okay.
room. But yeah, anyone's welcome to come, and we'll be open arms to you. So
I love it. So, what's one of your favorite parts? We'll just go around. What's one of your favorite things about Ag Ed?
My favorite thing about Ag Ed is we've kind of already talked about it a little bit, but just the people. Like the closest friends I've made here are my same major, and that's nice. Like when it comes to coursework, but it's just my kind of people. We always have a lot of fun with everything. So.
That.
I really like that we go through a wide area of content. We take plant science, animal science, welding stuff. You can go take entomology, bakery science. I just like that we hit all the different content areas within the College of Ag.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that too.
yeah, kind of similar and kind of a combination of both. I love all the people you get to meet across campus. So we're not just in Umberger Hall, which is where Ag Ed is held,
Okay.
but we're in Weber, we're in Throckmorton, we're in Waters. We come over to the College of Ed as well. And so, especially right now, since we don't spend a lot of time in Bluemont the first couple years, it's really nice to get to know other education majors and figure out, when do you student teach? What's your content area going to look like? What students are you teaching? What age groups and things like that? And so we have our people within Ag Ed, but we get exposed to so many others that have other interests too. So that's a really a nice piece of ag ed, is getting to know
I
everyone.
can definitely see that that would be a benefit
Yeah.
for sure. Well, thank you for joining me today and for sharing with all of us about Ag Ed. And we look forward to seeing all of you the next time that we go live with the College of Education.